So I was going to do some work on my garden project this weekend, but it forecast rain and I thought, oh, I'm not going to be doing anything. So I thought I'll come out in the woods, get wet out here. So I set off this morning and it were raining. I guess it's been lovely all day. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Should have stayed at home, carried on with my project, but it is what it is. I'll show you where I am. There's my little house for the night. I'm out here in the woods. A few days. Bring my hot tent with me because it's forecast snow and 0 degrees and that lot. So just processing myself some wood for my stove. Oh. My hammock's all set up. Little stove set up over there. Spark arrestor up there. If it's windy you can guy this. Some guy line attachments there. And I bought this as well so it keeps the hot pipe away from your tent, away from the fabric. Made myself a little prop just to try and lift up my ridge line a bit more. I could have taken it back down again. I had my ridge line tight, and then when I put it all up it pulled it down a bit. I should have put it up a bit higher, but I couldn't be bothered taking it all to bits again to raise it, so I just put myself a prop. Stable enough, it's not going anywhere. A couple of stoves with me. I brought 3. I brought my stove for in my tent. I've brought my Firebox Freestyle and my little 5-inch firebox, which I enjoy using the most. I'm quite fond of it. So I don't know if I'm going to cook my tea out here and have that as my dining room view, or if it's raining I can cook in there on my stove. Plenty of choices what to cook on. I plan on being out here a few days. It's beautiful. It's a bugger when there's knots in them. Just don't want to go through. So let's go. Oh. There we are. It's a little hole I dug in there, so I get my water from. Let's go in there. Don't ever underestimate what a morale booster a little fire like this is. This is a little 4-inch firebox stove. Well, just throwing a few sticks in it, but you can keep warm, you can cook, you can make water safe, you can disinfect your water. But it's such a morale booster. Just being able to sit and feed something like this gives you something to look at. And the small and the controlled. I've had a weekend under a tarpaulin. I had it low, only a tiny tarpaulin, and it absolutely poured it down. And I had my other little firebox stove going, and I was warm and dry all weekend, and it was going more or less constant. I was in a t-shirt, took jumper off, everything. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is the morale. Well, said that, depends if you want to drink or depends if you want to have an eat. Just a few sticks off the floor. These are wet, but you stick them in there. They're only wet on the outside. The heat will dry them off. Heat up one of these little rolls. They've got custard inside them. What is it they say? Bon appetit. That's really good, it's warm. The custard's warm. It's slightly toasted. Just got my stove going. Temperatures are dropping. I had to put a jumper on. Okay. Tire drip on there, then any water which gets on there, it don't go down and into my hammock. The water comes down, goes down the string and drips off. I've got some string here. I've got, well, off my whoopee sling. I can make another one here. I can make as many as I want. It just stops water going and soaking into your hammock. Getting dusk now. Everything's starting to go to sleep. Got my little stove in there going. I'm going to start to batten down the hatches soon and start cooking my tea. I'm on beef and black bean sauce today. There's a good butcher's where I go, and one of my routines is when I'm coming up here I go get myself a hot pot pie. But they make this, it's all freshly made, beef in black bean sauce. It's not cheap. Every time I get a portion of it I say it's just for me, but I always get a shock at the price, but it's absolutely lovely. So I'm going to have that tonight. I'm going to start cooking it soon. Looking forward to that. It's so peaceful. I've got a thingy on my leg. Oh, look. The beef in black bean sauce. Sizzling away nicely. Just put my rice in there to heat up and cook. I've got Ant-Man and the Wasp to watch, and I've got a vanilla slice with my name on it. It's going to be a lovely evening, and I've got me, oh, somewhere, what I took out of the fridge. I've got my bee sting Perry Should I Wish. I love it when you hear the rain. Coffee on for breakfast. Before I take my hot tent down, I just thought I'd show you around it. It's a Onewind Penumbra. So it's all made from a flame retardant material. This is where your stove jack, it's where your stove goes through. I've got a velcroed heat resistant piece which sits in there with a hole in it, or a clear window. This just, yep, that is with one hand. It just goes down there if you don't want to use any of it. All nice and smart. Plenty of tie outs on it. There's 2 on each corner. They go down to your pegs. All I do is tie a bowline on there, and then for any adjustment, it's just a case of pull that, and that's it. You just got to make sure that when you put this rope through, you go around the right way. You go up the back hole and then back down the front. That sounds a bit risky, does that? These are good. You can coil your excess rope up like that, and they just keep it all nice and tidy in there. These little hooks here you can use for keeping the doors open, which I'll show you around the other side. So there's my hammock on my tree strap, look, on my suspension. It just goes straight in there. There's a little carabiner here, and you're supposed to tie this zip and that zip together, and then as your hammock moves up and down, it moves these zips up and down and keeps this hole closed. I prefer to keep it open. I've got my stove inside as well, and I just like that ventilation coming through. I have a carbon monoxide detector as well, which I use. I bought one, it was specifically for camping and caravans, so I thought that'll do. So I use that when I'm inside. I put my ridge line up, just goes around on a marlin spike, goes through to the side, but when I put the tent up and tensioned it all up, it pulls it down, so I just made myself a little prop there like that. It just helps keep it up a little bit. There's tie outs on the doors as well, 2 on each door, so you can configure this in, you know, quite a few different ways if you just want to make it as a lean-to tarp or anything else. If you open it flat out, you can easily get 2 hammocks underneath. So it's a really smart piece of kit. This side, look, I've got the doors open. There's my hammock hanging in there in its snake skin. Stove goes over there. You've just got to watch your stove when you're getting in and out of your hammock. You just need to be careful. It's not close to the hammock, but you just need to be aware it's there. You don't want to put your hand out or anything on a hot flue. You could easily get a few sleeping bags in here, 2 or 3 cots. You know, it's big enough for 3 people easily in the stuff. I find it just big enough for me. Little look up here, you can hang a light on. It packs up into a bag. There's the width of my hand. You know, you can see it's not massive and it's not heavy, but it just gives you another option, doesn't it? Just for coming out, if it's raining, you can cook under there. You do get a bit of smoke inside sometimes if you haven't got your dampers right on your stove. When you open the door, you get a little bit of smoke coming back in. Not all the time, but sometimes. And what I do, I just open my zips at either end, like that lot. One down at the other end. Just lets anything out. My stuff doesn't smell smoky by any means. But really, really pleased with it. I hope you like me hot tent. I do.